with Dragon. Push day is upon us. The split has slightly changed, so I'm uploading some push day footage for everyone's enjoyment. Obviously, all these exercises that are selected are making sure that I'm keeping the back as safe as humanly possible while I continue to push up the intensity of the training. At the very end, there's a little bit of posing. That's mostly bodybuilding focus. Skip that if you don't find any interest in that. But still, for those of you who are still struggling with a lower back injury, these exercises are great. I think that they are still going to allow me to put on some size and not have those lingering effects of post-training fatigue and or flare-ups. Okay, so check out the video. I'm going to be doing some critiquing of the video as we go through. As always, thank you for watching, and Dragon out. First exercise, we have the cable press with the free motion cable machine. This is a really good chest stimulus that you can really get a good stretch on. The only thing that I will say is a little annoying is getting the position necessary to grab the cables and then start the lift. So if you're with a partner, this is significantly easier because they can pass the cable to you. You're technically lifting, depending on what the weight stack is, 70, 80, 90 to 100 pounds this is going to give you guys a better example, in a technically precarious position once you get seated. So I'm sitting back, I've got the foam roller to make sure that I'm getting even a deeper stretch. And right from that position, I'm pretty safe. Now, if you have to go and grab the other cable, it can be a little dangerous. So my recommendation is make sure that you have both cables in the hands before you start the lift. From like a safety bar standpoint, so you don't overstretch the pecs, you can adjust it so the free motion arm is a little bit higher. So like right at the very end of the lift, I got peak contraction, I'm coming down. Right about there is probably where the weight stack is actually catching me. So even if the weight is too heavy, it won't rip me back and tear my shoulder out of the socket. So it's very safe, very effective, crazy good stretch. As you can see, I'm really digging out these last couple reps, so I'm getting a massive stimulus in my pecs. I've always found that this one in particular gives me a massive, massive pump. I have debuted this chest fly before. I just think it's a super efficient way to get an awesome contraction when you're doing a chest fly. I've done it with cables. I've done it with different machines. I've done it with your traditional, loaded machine as well. I just tend to figure out like this one, I can really stretch my arms out as far as I can. So the further my arms are away from my chest, the stronger the contraction of my chest is. You'll see guys do this and their elbows are basically 90 degrees and they're just getting their hands to touch together and they've got this huge bent elbow. Like that's not doing anything for your chest. That's just giving you a huge front delt pump, which is, great if you want big front delts, but I'm obviously trying to grow my chest. So this is the machine for the job. We've got 325s on each side. Definitely a great top set. Recommend this if you guys have this at your gyms. Try it out. Neutral grip machine press. You guys can see the hand positioning. My hands are neutral. They're not pronated. They're not supinated. It is a neutral grip press. So I get an awesome squeeze on the pecs. It's extremely safe because it's back assisted. And you don't have to fiddle-faddle with the different weights because it is loaded very easily for just by clicking the machine left or right. So definitely something I would suggest doing. This is usually my third pec movement of the day. I like to do some sort of incline press first, followed by fly, drive a ton of blood into the muscle and get a good stretch. And then hammer the remaining parts of the pec with a neutral chest press. So on this one, I actually filmed 2 sets. I think this is the top set. And then I adjust the weight a little bit. I'm trying to do a drop set on this next one. So the goal on the drop set is try to hammer out as many clean reps as you can. 8 to 10 would be ideal. And then you're going to do some partials afterwards to drive some even more blood into the chest. A fun fact about this is when I talk about intensity in my videos, intensity is really hard to do, especially when you have an injury, right? Because you feel like the more energy and intensity you drive into it, technically your form could kind of break down a little bit. So when you get into a position where you can increase the intensity, you don't get a horrible negative response in the back, man, it is a good feeling because it feels like you can really deliver your full effort into something, and that's just such a good feeling. So here's the partial reps. I switched the hand positioning to pronated, and we're just driving a bit of blood back into that chest. And what would be a chest day or a push day rather without some shoulder laterals? Typically, for me, I like to keep it simple. Dumbbells, cables. We're actually a machine in this gym that allows you to do loaded laterals as well. They're like front and side laterals. I think in this situation, I was just looking for a better angle to be able to record. And 30s right now are what I'm using. Obviously, like some of these reps towards the end are obviously partials, and I'm trying to keep my arms straight out. I'm not trying to bend them. I'm just trying to get as much blood into the shoulders as humanly possible, and then move on. So keep it simple. Hit them hard, 2 to 3 sets, and do it continuously. Like I would recommend even doing this exercise maybe twice a week to get as much blood into that shoulder as you possibly can, and that's what's going to give you that awesome rounded dead look. If you ignore it and you only do shoulder presses, I think you're going to be sadly mistaken in terms of progress. Last but not least, we have some posing. So this is my off season. Like I said, I'm probably around 240 pounds right now. Decently lean, so some veins in the arms and all that fun stuff. Abs are still showing. The goal is size, so I have to keep my abs grow and put on as much size as I possibly can without losing my abdominal muscles, or else I'll pretty much be too chunk to be pushing the off season a little bit too far. So if you guys are working on these types of things, make sure that you are pushing the weight up, but it's good weight, and don't concentrate on the scale. Concentrate on the good tissue that you are creating in the gym. Okay? That is all. Thank you for watching. Dragon House.